Hey everyone, in this video we are going to take a look at the free-to-use 3D modeling application MagicaVoxel, which is available on GitHub. In this video we're going to take a look at materials. So we're going to look at specifically metal, and we're going to look at glass. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a ring. So think of it like a ring of power in a video game, a magical ring, that kind of thing. And even though we're using glass, obviously very similar properties to crystal, so it's interchangeable. Okay, so let's get rid of this default shape. So Control A to select all, and then the delete key to delete. That's standard Windows function. Control A is select all. Okay, so now let's create a circle. So we're going to click on C for circle and then attach. And for those of you who haven't watched the other tutorials, you have 6 tools here, but 3 different modes. Attach is draw, erase is delete, and paint neither creates nor deletes blocks, simply repaints them. So we want this to be off center. So let's go ahead and actually let's move that down. Yeah, that's good. Now we want to center out the middle, but here's the thing. Since there's no block in the center, we need to put a block back there. It's just an oddity of the system. So let's go ahead and just put a block there. So we're going to do C for a circle again, and then this time we go to erase. We start on that block, and we just drag out. And now we have ourselves a nice little ring. Let's erase that center one. There we go. So what we're going to do, we're going to rotate this vertically. So again, Control A to select all, and then we are going to rotate, and then we're going to just click on Y. So now it's been flipped vertically. Now it's standing up. Now if you want, you can make this ring a little thicker if you think it's too thin. So you could grab, let's see, F for facing, attach. Now it makes a difference. If I click up here, it would extend just that facing up. But if I click here, it'll extend the entire ring out. And of course it's blue because I still have that color. So what we'll do, we'll just go to the eyedropper, grab that blue, and go back to paint, and we'll just repaint those. Okay, so now you would expect there to, at the top, to be some kind of setting. We'll just put the gem right on top of this. So let's go ahead and go back to B for box, attach, and we'll make this like a red color. And we'll try to center this. So there's 2 on each side. And now you can just start extending and facing. So click on F. So extend out, extend over, extend over, extend out, extend over. Probably should be a little bit bigger. We want this kind of exaggerated. And then it's just a matter of carving away like the sides. Like, I mean, you could leave it square like this if you want. Or you can kind of carve away the corners. So let's just do a little bit of that. Let's click on V, erase, and then we'll get rid of one column. Kind of like the models you'd see like an old Odyssey 2 video game. And then what you can do is you can just start trimming in the sides. Like you could do something like box, leave it to erase, and then do something like that, that, that. And so just like a gem, you'd expect it to get smaller as it gets to the inside. You can do line and get rid of that last one. There you go. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we want this color to be glass and this to be metal. So we already have the red selected. So if we come up here to render, then you'll see the materials, okay? So we said we want this to be glass. So if we click on glass, here we go. And now already you can see through it. Now because it's cubical, you might not necessarily get the effect that you think you're going to get. It's not like you're seeing straight through it because of all the flat sides. But we can do, and this is why I chose red, you can actually bring some of that color back. So if you click on attenuation, now you've got both. Now it's kind of like a ruby. You can partially see through it. It's partially translucent, but retains a lot of its color. And you can do things like refraction. So it kind of makes it duller. Something in between. You can do roughness. This gives it more of like a sandblasted look. Not sandblast, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't think of the right term, but I guess it'd be sandblast. Basically where it's like has like a cloudy look to it, where as the name suggests, it's roughness. Okay. And then the ring itself can be metal. So let's make sure we have the right color. So if we take the eyedropper and we select, there's that color. We come back to render, and now we'll change that to a metal. So under material, we will go to metal, and then we'll just make that as metal as possible. Now, it's a little bit hard to see because the background is just gray, but you can already see how the metal is reflecting off of itself. You can see those little corners, so the color is reflecting off of itself. And from the top, you can definitely see the red shining down on it. And you can, again, because of the darker edges, you can see some of the reflection. It can increase specular. And roughness, again, gives it like that kind of more brushed rather than smooth. So it all depends what you're looking for. And I think that just about does it. So materials are fairly easy to use. When you export this, so again, there's two things you have to do. One, make sure you save your project. And by the way, when you save your project, if you save it in the Vox folder, then it'll show up here. If you notice sword, that is not a default shape. That is a shape I created, or a model I should say, I created in a previous tutorial, but because I save it in the Vox folder, it shows up here as now accessible, and now you can add it to another project. Okay? But anyways, so if you go to export down here, you want to export OBJ, so that exports the object, the 3D model. So as opposed to the project as a whole, the source project, this exports the model, and this is what you would export into. You would export it into, say, Unity, or you would export it to Unreal, or whatever engine you use that supports OBJ. It will create 3 files. It'll create an OBJ file, an MTL, I guess that stands for material, and it'll create a PNG file. Make sure all 3 files are transferred to Unity or whatever application you're using, or else this won't look right. It'll just like be all gray. So make sure you get all 3 files. I believe I already have a video discussing that. I'll probably create a video later on that shows specific interoperability between this and Unity. And then 2D creates just a PNG. So I mentioned this before, that in a lot of games you have a 3D model, but then maybe in your inventory or on a skill bar you have a skill tray, you have a 2D representation. Well, you don't want to have to draw that all over again. Think of the wasted time. So you make your 3D model, but you export it as a 2D image. It creates a 2D image, and now you have that 2D image either for the skill tray or for your inventory, whatever. That way you don't have to have artists recreate it. And it also keeps that aesthetic because it'll still have this voxel aesthetic, but it'll be a 2D image. So I think that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. And if there's anything else that you want to see, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to add it. And I think that's about it. So please enjoy the rest of your day.